Hi everybody, it's Nicholas Ashbaugh. As you know, this weekend we have both a full moon and also a Mercury retrograde that's kicking off on Saturday. So I thought this would be a really great chance for us to take a look at the cycles that are coming through. What are the things you want to release? What opportunities are also presenting themselves? And most importantly, how can you thrive in retrograde? And yes, it is possible to do that. Without any further delay, let's give the cards a shuffle and see what kind of energy is coming through. In the Catalyst position, you have the Sundancer. The card reads joyful activity, celebration of life, and abundance. The interesting thing is it kind of sets up what you need to do to accomplish abundance, which is to tune into that energy of joy and play and excitement and passion. You have to celebrate all the little journeys and all the little setbacks as well that kind of got you to this moment in time. And as you are fully present, drinking in all of this experience, you open yourself up. Your heart is open, your mind is open, and you start to perceive that there is more, that this was just the tip of the iceberg. However, when I pulled the card, it was reversed. So the first challenge here is to understand that the best is yet to come, that this is a beginning, not an end. Let's take a look at the cards now and work our way through past, present, and future to see what's in store for you over the next few weeks. I think the biggest challenge for many of you is just going to be reining in those emotions because we have the Nine of Cups here reversed. The good news is if we just take a quick peek at the future here, you have the strength to go the distance, you have a lot of resources, you have a lot of support. It's mostly going to be the inner saboteurs, some of our own energies, some of the past cycles that are going to get in the way because you're actually set up here for success. The Nine of Cups in reverse reminds you that you are an energy alchemist. Basically, this means that any energy in your life, you can take it and reshape it. Imagine that you're in front of a forge, you're working with metal, you don't like what you have, you can melt it down and put it into a new mold. So when we have lower frequency energies, like frustration, sometimes we need the frustration to get out of a negative situation, whether it's a job or a relationship. If we feel this sense internally that we wish we had something someone else had, sometimes you need that little bit of jealousy in order for you to do the research and do the work on yourself and think, well, let's see, how did they do it? I'm going to figure that out. What can I do now to create and foster some of those things that I admire? Turn it from jealousy into admiration. Use the admiration then to inform decisions that will help educate, inform, and support you so that you can accomplish something similar or better than that as well. So this is really about using energy to lift you up rather than letting it sort of be like a balloon that's deflating, right? So that's the big challenge. That's the big opportunity. You may also need to decompress a little bit. The Nine of Cups can be carrying a lot energetically and emotionally. So having just a creative outlet like singing, dancing, writing, etc. can help you get back into the center, back into that neutral state, which is going to be important. Crossing the center card, we have the richly abundant 10 of Pentacles. What's cool about this is how nicely it connects with this card, which is basically saying joyful activity, celebration of life, and abundance. So remember what I said earlier, this is just the beginning. Don't doubt positive energy in your life. What could be causing the doubt, you ask? Well, we have the Five of Swords in the past. This can be the voice of a parent, the voice of a teacher, the voice of a friend that gets stuck in our head. Remember, you can't make everyone happy. We see all of these swords facing that person and they're wondering, like, how can I live up to this? The truth of the matter is that you can't. I've said this before, if you're doing the right thing, if you're making progress in your life, there's always going to be people that have an opinion. There's always going to be people that aren't happy. But as long as you feel like you're on the right path, that's more than enough. Finally, and most importantly, this card can actually be our inner voice. And the Five of Swords inner voice usually talks you into doing something that you shouldn't. Or it tells you that you're not good enough to do something that you can do. So ignore those kinds of thoughts. You can recognize them when they come up because internally you know better. The voice says one thing, the heart feels another. Trust the heart. As we look at why all of this is happening, it's a necessary change. I love that the Tower came through reverse because it shows a deliberate energy. We can even see the hands knowingly taking apart this structure. Another way to look at this is the change is underway. It's inevitable. You have a choice to either become a part of that change, to basically surf the energetic wave of change, or you have to wait and you hope for the best. And that's not a very effective way to work with the energy of change. So I highly recommend that you decide, what can I do? How can I maximize the shifting and the moving that's happening in my life? One thing that I'm picking up on here is two cards that are actually kind of at opposite ends of the spectrum. You're coming through very rigid and very organized with this. This card is saying, but you need to shift, but you need to move. And so one of the areas of discomfort during this period of time could be in that sort of unknown, the ambiguity that comes with not being in the Hierophant where everything is all mapped out. So try to get comfortable with exploring new things and remember that the worst that could happen is it might take a couple of attempts, but as long as you're trying, as long as you're learning, you're exactly where you need to be in this moment in time. The crowning card here, Seven of Swords, is one of the big focal points in relationships and also just internally as a checkpoint as well. You can't outfox the fox. We see two foxes there on the jacket. We see the person with their fingers crossed in the background. And the main thing here is this is the time to call things out that you don't like, to change things in your life that you don't like as well, and just to be more accountable across the board. At the end of the day, honesty, transparency, and accountability will basically take that card and make it go away. Here's some reasons it might be showing up. This can actually be the card of good intentions gone awry. I often talk about the Seven of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords being connected. So what happens sometimes is in our effort to basically please all these people around us, we may overcommit, we may overextend. And then the Seven of Pentacles morphs into Seven of Swords, which is, I said I was going to do it, but now I can't do it. And so now I'm not accountable. So one of the ways that you can avoid ever getting to the Seven of Swords is basically by saying no, by pushing back or by asking for help if there's something unrealistic when someone makes a request at work, at school, or at home. So proper limits are very, very important. Asking questions as well if you're not sure about something. And if you have a gut instinct that someone's not telling you everything, do yourself a favor, ask some questions, ask around, do some research. You probably have a good intuition on that, okay? The fact that you are already one step ahead, it's in that crowning position, means that you're going to be fine here, okay? You want to take proper care of yourself. As I look at all three cards across the center, what I see here is a lack of a schedule or organization. I see emotional sensitivity, and then I see fatigue setting in the body. So I think it's really important to clean up living situations, clean up your schedule, to make sure that you have, like I said earlier, a really good emotional balance and outlet, and then focus on physical activity, physical strength, and if it's been a long time since you've gone to the doctor, obviously getting everything looked at so that you're okay. Ultimately, strength does connect to the outcome, which is saying you're strong enough to get through anything and you're strong enough to accomplish your goals. So I do like that. This is also a power struggle card, which is saying that in this moment in time, you may be tested. Your boundaries may be tested. Someone may come in and also ask you, are you sure you want to do that? They're not necessarily even challenging your authority. They want to be convinced themselves. They want to know, do you believe this? Do you believe in yourself and your capacity? So this is when you want to really be strong and grounded and neutral and say, yes, I do, and this is why, and then back it up with facts. As we look at the card that represents you, we see the Hierophant. This is an amazing card for spiritual development. So many of you are going to decide to go deeper into your spirituality during this period, which means more meditations, more introspection, more sort of digging deep. And I always think that's a great idea. There is something to be mindful of. The Hierophant and the Tower somewhat fight each other. This card is saying we need to be open and tear things down. This is saying, but I need structure. So there's a happy medium between both of these. This is deciding basically what needs to go, and this can say, well, what can stay? How can we conserve some of the energy? So I think that you don't have to have an all or nothing. And that actually is one of the big energetic tug of wars that might be happening for you, is there's a part of you that wants to save everything. There might be another part that some days just thinks, let's throw it all away. So I say meet in the middle. Look at the things that you're still connected to, that you still feel passionate about. And then the other stuff, it's kind of like when you make a move, or when, maybe when your children grow up and you still have stuff that have been there for a while, it's sort of like, I don't need this anymore. And maybe you don't need this. And you start to let go of some of those belongings or those attachments. This month, it's a very similar energy of deciding what goes and what stays. And it's, again, somewhere in the middle. It's not all or nothing. In the environment, we have basically a chance for you to make a course correction. I always talk about a knight reversed or a prince reversed is saying, before I move forward, let me decide, what am I getting back from this? What do I need? Am I speaking up enough to make sure that people know what I want and I need? And as long as I'm doing that, we can move forward. But it's a necessary pause, basically. So don't be afraid to make a slight turn or even turn around for a second, regroup, and then you can start to make progress on the road again. And again, this is something that you may only realize as you get a little bit older, but it's important to say, I need this, or I want this, or help me understand something about that. Asking questions, stating needs or expectations, it's a sign of strength. It helps other people show up. And that's one of the opportunities that is also presenting itself during this retrograde. We have the Three of Cups energy here, which is a beautiful celebratory sort of vibe, especially when it's in hopes and opportunities. Some of you, this could be fears too, because this area can inhabit all of three of those things. But this Three of Cups looks really welcoming, and it's a beautiful connection with the Nine of Cups at the center. So I would say during this period, there is a chance to mix, to mingle, and to basically start to find maybe your soul family. It's not just about dating. This can be about finding people that vibe with the new version of yourself that you're building. For those of you that are looking for love, this portends good things, actually. And we see 2 threes back to back. We have the Three of Cups and the Three of Wands. So word of mouth is actually working in your favor. You could meet someone at a social gathering that could open up a really important door for you. So this is an important time to get out of your shell, explore, and see what's out there. This card is an amazing card to look at for your outcome. It's basically saying that as long as you know what you're trying to accomplish, there should be a window that opens up for you this month. It's closer than you think. It may already be underway with the Three of Wands. It's just a matter of keeping your eyes and also your mind open. One last thing with the Three of Cups before we move on. This can also be a question of loyalty or a question of commitment. So some of you during this period of time are thinking, do I really want to stay here at this job, here in this relationship, here on this career path, etc. And so you're kind of shopping around opportunities and thinking, where do I stand? The good news is whatever you decide, we see a positive trajectory moving forward. It just really does beg a decision from you. So take your time over the course of the next 3 or 4 weeks as we're going through retrograde to really think it through. And this is what's really good with both full moon and retrograde energy. It's planning, discovery, also sort of like planting those seeds. It doesn't have to all happen during this period. It's just sort of like in the head and in the heart, you start to move the needle forward. We're going to quickly look at an expanded forecast of health, wealth, love, and destiny, starting with a health card. For some of you, you're actually clearing ancestral baggage. We have the ancestor spirit here saying, connect to your lineage. A family wound or pattern can be healed now. So it's exactly saying that. If there's something, let's say financially, your family has struggled to be prosperous, or in relationships, there's been examples of not so great relationships, or any other thing, maybe your father or mother didn't take great care of their health. You're going to be the first one that is going to break that energetic trend. And you're going to do so in part just to prove to yourself that you can, but also because you value yourself and you want to be able to, live a full and fulfilling life. And that's what the Strength card indicates. So that's a wonderful energy to come through for health. You're breaking some sort of a cycle in the family. You could also be setting an example if you're a mother or a father as well. Avoid going to extremes because we have the Three of Cups and the Nine of Cups, which generally aren't very moderate cards. So when it comes to how much you're drinking, eating, or partying, for instance, you want to make sure that those things are in moderation. I think it's also important before you make any change in your lifestyle that you're ready for it, because the Seven and the Five of Swords are cards, like I said, of accountability, and they really are begging to just have you be in a place where you are willing to commit to yourself. So when you're accountable, when you're ready, make that change, but not a moment before that. Focus on physical well-being, because this is your channel for all energy and all opportunity in your life. And the stronger that is, the better your path is going to be overall. Moving on to wealth. It's all about you. We have the Lord card, which would be comparable to an emperor. It says, take charge with authority. And the Lord card is meeting this Strength card reverse, saying, yes, I am. Yes, I am ready. Yes, I believe in this. And yes, I can do this. So say yes to your inner strength and your inner power, and know that others are going to believe you if you believe yourself, basically, okay? When I'm looking at overall energy of money, it looks pretty good here. 10 of Pentacles right at the center, showing your own value. I see that a change happening. So if you decide to leave a job, leave a relationship, or make some sort of a move, we then actually have a Knight card, and that's higher than the 10. It's a little bit of a shift. You might have to settle into it, but I like where you're headed, and I like where you're going in the long run as well. This is all looking good. There's just a question of basically your own confidence. You have to believe in yourself. That's the biggest challenge, I think, when it comes to wealth, career, and personal development. As we look at relationships, it says, the more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless I am. I love the hummingbird, because to me, a hummingbird always indicates the ability to energetically move higher, to move through any difficult period. And it shows that things are going to happen, again, just like the Three of Wands, a lot faster than you think. We see birds in this one as well. Listen to what's going on. The birds can also be the Three of Cups. So there's a lot of messages that are incoming as long as you're ready and willing to tune in. For those of you in an existing relationship, it looks like some work needs to be done. It could be around communication overall. So focus on clarity, honesty, accountability. I keep stressing those, but they're coming through quite a bit during this retrograde period. Also, areas of equal energy when it comes to contribution. There could be some power struggles. You can work to resolve that as well. Honestly, a lot of this could be coming from the extended family, not so much from the two of you, because the Ten of Pentacles can be external forces, looking at family and community and society. So the most important thing at the end of the day is that the two of you love each other and celebrate each other, and kind of tune out from some of this other energy if everything is feeling good. Because at the end of the day, if you can do that, you'll be fine. Otherwise, it gets very distracting, and it could drive a little bit of a wedge between the two of you, and you don't want that to happen. For those of you looking for love, again, it feels like you got to let the dust settle in your life and focus on your own physical and mental well-being first and foremost. But then things do open up. I would say it's probably 3 or 4 weeks from now with these Three of Cups and Three of Wands cards. It does look favorable. We see a earth sign already in the environment, but you need to let the dust settle, and you need to focus on really making sure that all of your promises are met. That's what this is about, that you have asked for anything that you need as far as resources and energy, and you put up proper boundaries. That's going to make sure that whatever comes into your life, you're ready to receive it. And if you're single and happy, the same advice goes for you there. Finally, looking at your destiny card, you are the one that you love. You are everything that you need. We have Mother, Father, God. And again, I have to stress, the older that you get, the more you realize that you have to be these things for yourself. You're divinely connected to Source. Many of you may not have parents that are any longer on the planet, and you realize you have to be the rock. You have to be stable. You have to be connected to that. This card is saying, not only can you do that, but you've always been able to do that. Just in this moment are you discovering that inner strength. And for those of you that still have a big family, perhaps, this is reminding you that you don't have to, again, be everything to everyone. There's plenty of people and plenty of love to go around. So focus on connecting to source purpose, and source energy this month, and that's going to help you. This is basically asking you, what is it that you're trying to accomplish? What's your big kind of goal? We're going to pull one more card to help you with that compass, and then we'll wrap up for this beautiful retrograde reading. So the big idea for this particular period of time basically is all about success. We have the Six of Wands. This particular Six of Wands reminds you that success is subjective. It's all in your hands, it's all in your head. It's really up to you what you constitute the energy of success to be. This could be, for instance, just feeling like you're making a difference in the world. This could be educational pursuits so that you learn the most that you can in this lifetime. This could be having a family and touching as many lives as you possibly can, something that I talked about in the latest daily card read. So success isn't just money, it's not just a title. It goes much, much deeper than that. You're already successful just by working on yourself, just by listening to this reading and deciding, what do I want? So I want you to broaden your lens on what that means. Don't measure yourself so much against other people. The other thing that we see in here is the little sort of like playing dice at the center. And that's saying, I need to take a chance. I need to see if I can do this. So you're always worth that bet. You're always worth that wager because you've got a lot to offer yourself. You've got a lot to offer the world. So I really like what I see here. We started off with abundance with the Sundancer. We actually have manifestation coming through here. The key to being successful is accountability and stability, and then finding a way to ease into the change in your life. One of the big things that is coming through to change or to let fall away is old ancestral habits from this family, from this lifetime, and from previous. And then we see a lot of cards about independence and strength. So those are the key things that I'm noticing for you, and I hope this helps you navigate through both the full moon and the retrograde. Both are opportunities to let go of something, to research, and to plant the seeds for a better tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please show a little bit of love and support with that subscribe button below. Share this with someone as well. Let them know what I'm doing here, and we'll try to reach a larger audience, and I appreciate that. You can also show some love and support by joining me on social media. It's always my full name as you see here. Remember that I do not offer any private readings, nor do I use any messaging services. So if anyone reaches out to you via direct message or chat or WhatsApp or anything of that nature, it's not me. Please let me know and I'll report them as well. And if you'd like to show love and support in any of my live streams, you can use this. But on replay, there's a little heart that says thanks. You can also give a little bit of love and support there. All right, in the meantime, thank you so much for being a part of this community. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the Sunday Collective.